So the University of Washington, USA on the Berkshire station, Oxford Brookes University up against them. That's the place to be today. As Kath Bishop joins me in the commentary box. Being up on that start line, you'll really sense the tension, the nerves, the excitement. It's a peaceful spot now, isn't it? But in a few seconds' time, that'll be broken.
And there's an extra frisson on finals day because the other races are just to get through. This time, this is the last one, the big one. The medals wait at the end of this race, so it has that sense of finals day. It's got a different atmosphere, and in the boats you really sense that as well. You're creating that different atmosphere because you know there's no day after today, and you've got to give it everything, leave it all out there, and see if you can write your name into the history books for Henley Royal Regatta.
Kitchen sink time for both of these. Give it a little handshake there. That was nice, from the cox to the stroke seat in the Oxford Brookes University boat. They'll be eyeballing each other for the next 6.5 minutes.
Attention, as you work.
The umpire just restarting. There we go.
This is the Temple, University of Washington on the Berkshire station, and on the Buck station we've got Oxford Brookes University, and here's the power unleashed, trying to get some speed into the boat off those starting pontoons, and we're keeping a close eye on the steering, and both boats seem to have nailed that in the early stages. We'll have another test in a moment as they come out the protection of Temple Island and have to deal with the winds a bit more.
So you want to shoot out like a dart, and both of them did that. They've had enough experience in the last few days to kind of know the island now, know the tricks, know the kind of difficulties, and go absolutely dead straight. Both of these coxes need to make sure these crews get the best lane, the best line rather, down this course that they can, because it could be nip and tuck all the way. Really powerful, explosive rowing from both of these crews. They're both real, they front end the stroke, they're very aggressive in their style of racing, and that's what's got them to the final.
The early indication is it will be nip and tuck. Look how level it is in the early stages. You can see closest to the camera there, Oxford Brookes University. They last won this in 2019, Oxford Brookes University, last won the Temple. They also won it in 17, 16 and 14 as well, so they've been pretty good in this over recent years. And then at the top of the picture, University of Washington, USA, beating Durham University in the semi-final by 2/3 of a length yesterday. They won this in 2018, so it's two boats from two setups that know how to win the Temple.
Absolutely, really experienced coaching that goes behind these crews as well, with the formidable team that's led by Henry Baylash-Webb under Richard Spratley at Oxford Brookes. He's been there now in his 14th year as head coach, 22 years with the club, and Mike Callahan, who heads up the University of Washington programme, again 12 years there, 8 years as head coach. So, you know, again, they really know how to get the preparation right, how to get the detail, how to get the race plan right, and how to use the course, when to put the pushes in, you know, how to cope with that middle area where you're sometimes, you know, a little bit further from the bank. At the moment, it looks like there's real aggression in that University of Washington crew. I think they might be nudging their bows ahead.
Possibly, yeah. And just looking at the steering, it's suggesting that they've come a little bit central here. University of Washington, the Berkshire station to the right of your picture. They're one of 11 boats from the USA on the water today in our 26 finals. Got 2 from New Zealand, 8 from Australia, 1 from Germany, Denmark and Norway each, a couple from China. Truly international. This is a classic final, isn't it, with a local boat from Oxford Brookes and the boat from Washington, an American boat here. Classic matchup.
Absolutely, and they're on, the water's good today, isn't it? So they haven't got quite as much. We've had some real windy, gusty, we've had the whole gamut of seasons thrown at us over the last few days, but the sun is out and the conditions are pretty calm, which means again you can just focus in. It's speed from A to B, 2,112 metres, and you need to make sure every stroke counts. And it now looks as if we've got a sharpening happening in the Oxford Brookes crew. You can see the catches, they just sharpened up as they went in, they've lifted, they've tightened a little bit, they've soaked up the push that came out of the transition from the start in the University of Washington crew, and it now looks as if Oxford Brookes are starting to take the lead.
Yeah, so Oxford Brookes University, you can see there, nearest to the camera, to the left-hand side. A little bit tight, these two boats, but the coxes will have an eye on that. Will Denengri of Oxford Brookes University, you can see hunched at the front of the boat there, and Miles Devereux in the stroke seat. Winkham, Huller, McGillan, Hines, Lassen, Hayward and Donaghy. They've put in a surge there. That was an important move. I wonder if that would be a decisive move, and they have shifted through that last couple of 100 metres.
Absolutely devastating there to have clear water to just row straight away from. We saw the power of the University of Washington crew coming out of the start, but as they transitioned, they just kept the power going. They kept the sharpness, and it's now looking a little heavy. The University of Washington crew a little bit shocked that they've got, they've lost the sense almost now where the Oxford Brookes crew were. That was absolutely dominant race out of that start and just move away. You can see here that real sharpness. There's a little bit more kind of movement within the University of Washington crew. Big guys, just not quite as cohesive, as tight, really kind of level. The shoulders aren't lifting a lot in the Oxford Brookes crew at all. It's all going into shifting the water, levering that boat past them. Really formidable rowing there.
Yeah, University of Washington a little bit ragged, muscling it, fighting it a bit, but Oxford Brookes University, they bolted. That was unreal, that surge mid-race. Now it's just about sustaining it, just keeping their cool and seeing themselves down to the finish line as they hit the regatta enclosure, and they'll have huge support there as well, and their fans on the bank will be ecstatic to see the lead they've carved out. They need to keep an eye on their steering. They're just heading a little bit towards the left-hand side of the picture. I think they'll sort that out, and keeping an eye on the University of Washington have had a bit of a wobble as well in towards the mid-water, but this is a performance from the Oxford Brookes University boat.
Really impressive. It's their top crew this year. They've been really kind of, we know they have such a competitive squad. I mean, both of these systems, University of Washington, Oxford Brookes, have really competitive squads that people, they have ambitions to be part of these squads, to be part of these programs because of what they can learn here, because of the history, because of the results that these teams get. We can see there the confidence. I mean, what a joy to have that much clear water in a Henley final. We know that Miles Devereux at stroke, he won Henley Royal in the Forley Challenge Cup just 2 years ago. So much confidence there. He's competed at the Junior World Championships, the European Championships.
So Oxford Brookes University, their programme paying off again. They won 6 events on finals day last year, and here's their first win this year. There might be more to come as well, but they're 8 in the Temple Challenge Cup. Gusty winds picking up on the finish line, but it's Oxford Brookes University, the winners of the Temple Challenge Cup 2022. The celebrations belong to them, and University of Washington, who had a fast start, a really sharp start from them, but the way that Oxford Brookes just powered away mid-race, incredible turn of pace, change of gear, proved decisive. Washington couldn't live with them, and that is what it means to Oxford Brookes University.
Just how emotional was that win, given what happened last year when the boat was narrowly beaten?
Yeah, really emotional, just huge payoff for all of us. It's been such hard work, but really enjoyable. Just the 9 of us and the entire squad at Brookes have just been working for this for so long, not just last year, but the year before. And it's just such a good reward for so many years of hard work, and I'm so happy for these guys and the club as a whole that we can deliver for them today.
Why did it go so well today? What is it about this crew?
We're just so internal, and we're so focused on what we can do and what we know we can deliver. We're not fazed by other crews or any chat that comes from outside the boat. All we care about is what we can do and just executing our plan every day.
And you certainly had some support on the banks with it seemed like the whole of Oxford Brookes University here. Just describe that feeling, that atmosphere.
The support means everything, and it's been incredible this week. Despite all our early morning races, everyone's been down here clapping us out, and that's the reason we do it. We couldn't be here without them. We literally could not do what we're doing today without their support, and it just means the world to us.